Garba and members of the committee. My name is Dr. Bruce Corey. I'm an economist, professor emeritus with Concordia University, and for a long time have been active in research on economic impacts of different activities. I want to share with you the powerful role of culture and the arts in economic development and the critical moment we are at this time. I'm going to put some slides up as I speak, and the work that I do is around also around this concept called cultural destinations. You heard from Vamento about Little Mekong, and a similar parallel effort on another corner of University of Snelling was in St. Paul is Little Africa. Now, these are is a powerful model of economic development, and Vamento and Dr. Jean Galgaloo were pioneers in building up this vision, and they've done it over almost more than a decade. It takes so long to build up the vision. It's a big difference from an ethnic restaurant or a corridor with many cultural businesses. A cultural destination or a business is one that activates art and culture and music in a consistent manner such that it offers an experience, as you can see on these slides, of people experiencing African culture at Little Africa Fest. And so this very powerful model creates a destination and experience, and people come and they have joy, and the entrepreneurs have joy as well as build wealth. And so it's a very powerful strategy of economic development built on joy. So and many in the community were concerned and disappointed that Little Africa Fest that had been happening for the last 13 years is not going to happen this year because of the recent conditions of fear and anxiety. And so I want to share some data on an economic impact of what if Little Africa Fest stopped. And so using some very conservative estimates, I've come up with about a $3.8 million impact on St. Paul and Little Africa, on Minnesota, because of the vibrant energy created by Little Africa and the team there, AEDS. And for every dollar spent, there's a return of almost $2 in economic benefit. So if we don't have this impact, as the cancellation of Little Mekong, which will be much larger, you will see immediately about a $300,000 economic impact gone, which includes areas like visitor spending of $100,000 and the resources that AEDS deploys for about another $150,000. The business revenue lost not only of the vendors, but the area businesses that benefit from an event like this. And most important, as Vamento also testified, it's this model of cultural destinations, culture-based strategy that is in crisis. So the cost goes beyond economic and fiscal. We can estimate the fiscal benefits of a festival. The infrastructure for a culture-based development model losing one of its core elements, the public safety benefits when neighbors around that park come and say, oh, thank you for organizing this event because it helps reduce crime, it helps remove people, activities that we don't want here and makes it more family friendly. It's the marketing and branding that small businesses get through visibility, and it creates this sense of culture and belonging. It creates joy, cultural affirmation. There are people, Africans, who would say, hey, I'm glad you're celebrating Africa, Africa in the heart of Minnesota. Thank you for doing it. And as Chair Wang said about going to Little Mekong Night and enjoying it, it fills people with pride, but it also fills not only ethnic communities, but other visitors and the artists and the residents in the same time. It builds wealth. So the reversal, when AEDS is doing just like Vamen mentioned, AEDS has repurposed the funds that they had set up for the fairs to small grants for business struggling right now in an emergency grant program. This is reversing this model back to a survival mode. And it has a lot of implications, economic implications for Minnesota. And so, what policymakers like you can do is to continue to fund the arts, especially these cultural destination, cultural corridors model of integrating culture into wealth building, because it provides spaces for people in Minnesota right now. We need these spaces where we enjoy each other's culture and build relationships. And there is a return on investment of doing things like this. I read the testimony of the Hmong International Festival last night, and if I put those numbers, a grant from the legacy funds, about $300,000. There were 200 vendors, and there were about 47,000 people attending last year. If I put it into a similar model that I've done, it's about a $5 to $6 million impact, and it's a conservative impact. It's not including other larger citywide impacts or statewide impacts. And that's a big return on investment. An investment of $300,000 by the legacy funds yielding about a $6 million benefit. So you can see how powerful this model is, but also how powerful art and culture is to the life of Minnesota, and how people have so effectively used culture and art to not only bring life into spaces and events, but also to build wealth. And so I request you and thank you for funding the Arts and Culture Fund and keeping it open for business and economic development, and request you to continue to urgently fund more of these activities now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bruce Corey. Any questions or remarks for the testifier? All right. I see none, Dr. Bruce. Thank you so much for testifying. Your insights are always great for us and helpful for us to hear, to put things into perspective of what types of investments are worth investing. And thank you for coming here today to provide that. Members, we have one. Dr. Bruce, do you have closing remarks?
Thank you, Chairman. May I just share that I've taken this model of cultural destination to the state fair, and hundreds of people have stopped by and said, cool, awesome. So it is a model that can be taken to small towns, large cities, and be very effective. But thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Bruce.